I've got a lot of money out here that I don't want ruined.
Tonight, Color 10 investigates renters' rights. A property management company has 1 week left to fix building violations at a townhouse in Springfield.
Investigative reporter Lauren Barnes spoke to the renters who say they've been fighting for these repairs for months.
Tenants are pretty frustrated that the whole situation is out of their control. Now, I also met with the landlord who tells me they're doing what they can to correct the construction and get proper permitting for this project. Color 10 Investigates is looking into options now for renters facing a mess they didn't make, but are expected to live with. Rain soaks through a roof in repair at Deeswood Village, exposing mold and structural issues in the garage this family rents from Oak Ridge Properties. The bright yellow sign citing their townhouse with a dangerous building warning isn't quite the home sweet home renters were expecting when they moved to Springfield from Texas.
We love the Ozarks, we love Branson area, and we got jobs here and moved up.
If you walked out in that area where they're working at, you could fall through the ceiling or something like that. There is a dangerous element that way, but it's not a dangerous building in the aspect it's going to just collapse on somebody.
Kevin and his wife Madison knew repairs were needed when they signed the lease last August. That's why a handwritten addition to their rental agreement shows both the tenants and management agreed the mold and leak in the garage would be fixed by winter. A written repair agreement in the lease is exactly what Missouri's tenant-landlord law suggests for a situation like this. But the timing of those repairs remains in question.
Saying that it would be done by winter, and here we are.
Tara Beavers, manager at Oak Ridge Properties, says tenants living in the unit above had to move out before they could work on the garage, which shares a roof with the balcony upstairs. She says they couldn't have possibly fixed it before winter hit.
By winter is a winter project, but more so it is whenever their lease was up, and their lease wasn't up until the end of December, so there's no way I could have done it any sooner.
Oak Ridge Properties says weather delayed the project further. I also asked about the roofer hired to fix the leak.
He's a specialty carpenter, or I don't know what his title is, to be honest.
The leak got worse after construction started. Rainwater saturating the garage floor, filling trash cans, mold spores spreading across the garage roof. That's when the city stepped in.
I've got a lot of money out here that I don't want ruined.
According to the Missouri Department of Health, addressing building code violations may actually be the fastest way for renters to get repairs done. City codes do not address mold or the health effects from mold. The state says renters should instead look for code violations that contribute to mold growth, such as faulty plumbing, ventilation issues, and leaky roofs.
The best thing to do is just turn in a complaint to our Citizens Resource Center.
But again, that assistance only goes so far.
We don't deal with mold in our department. That's more, I'm not even sure the health department deals with mold. So that's one of those gray areas.
Our investigative team checked. The health department does not inspect homes for mold either. The tenants here do have renter's insurance. They're ready to move on from the property completely, but fear the legal consequences.
We believe the lease is void, but we don't want to face an eviction and have that go on our credit report.
I researched Missouri law. It specifies in most cases a tenant has no right to withhold rent. Missouri law provides only a very narrow exception to this rule for dangerous or unsanitary conditions that a landlord fails to fix.
If this was living quarters, it would definitely be an issue, and we wouldn't have moved them in this way. But they did agree, like I said, they did agree when they moved here that this was fine because this is a garage. They don't sleep here, they're going to eat here.
The city of Springfield records indicate the property managers have until next Wednesday, February 22nd, to correct those violations. The city warns if the construction is not corrected by then. But when I spoke with the building department, they said it is fairly common for these violations to escalate to a court hearing. Bailey?
Lauren, is there anything that can be done to prevent the vague wording that led to the confusion in this lease?
Yeah, there is. I spoke to an attorney who says it is important to put exact dates on any kind of contracts, especially repair contracts. So instead of saying the work would be done by winter, you should instead have it worded so that it would say work will be done on or before a specific date. And with this upcoming deadline from the city, we'll be following this story.
All right, Lauren.